The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Well.
You better turn this board back up.
That went poorly.
Oh, let's just kill that because we have something else.
Oh, fuck. Come on, man. Jesus. I am so damn sick and tired of hearing that fucking song.
I have been waiting to do that for almost 24 full hours.
It's just pure meanness, damn it. And what did I try to tell you? I tried to tell you all season long, like, this is great. You guys can, the media can get all excited about Georgia being undefeated and the defense is the greatest we've ever seen. And you can't beat Nick Saban, damn it, if your name's Kirby Smart.
Yeah, I thought of that when the pick six happened.
It sucks.
And I told my wife, I'm opening the show with the Alabama fight song.
It sucks so much.
And then I concocted a little dance because I bet the fuck out of Alabama.
You get up 10-0, and then it just immediately goes all to pot, and you go, well, I knew this was coming. There's not a Georgia fan in the world that was shocked by what happened last night.
And that is exactly why it happened.
Yep.
You remember on Friday when I said that loser mentality thing?
Yeah.
Then I started hearing people in your program talking that way, and I went,
yeah.
No. No. That is not how you go in to play Nick Satan.
Yeah. So, anyhow, Georgia's going to be the 3. Michigan will be the 2. It'll be Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan, and Georgia. And, maybe we'll get a crack at them again, maybe not. Michigan looked damn good last night against Iowa. And
you know what else? You know what else looked good last night?
What? Bryce Young Heisman moment, right?
Oh, Bryce Young's winning Heisman.
Yeah,
There's
that was
no doubt about that.
I haven't checked the odds today, but I'm betting he's about minus 1,000 to win the Heisman.
Minus 11 billion. He's minus the George Bush number.
Oh my God, it was too predictable. It was too predictable that that's what was going to happen in the SEC championship game. Now we get Alabama and Georgia, maybe, for the national championship, and it's gonna look strikingly similar, folks.
Yeah. It was not a good day to be Tank. I noticed he stopped responding to me.
Mm-hmm.
He texted into the group a little bit. You're fun, yeah. And
exactly. I told Jeremy, I said, so I see Michigan did well. Would you like to know how much of that game I watched after the Georgia-Alabama game? Yep, that's it right there. I didn't have any more stomach for football left after yesterday, as I knew I would.
Chuck G asked in the comments, what player, if any, yesterday changed my draft opinions? There were a slew of them. There were so many of them that I'm going to do a 3-round mock draft for the end of this week.
Yeah, he is so depressed that now the mailman is no longer in the first round.
Look, here's my rule with quarterbacks. Any quarterback that next to me would look like he could possibly be my child, probably not an NFL quarterback.
Right. Stetson Bennett, good God almighty. All of the flaws that were there last year in the Florida game, right on display. He actually didn't get any better.
But
Yay.
That is not why we're here.
No, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the NFL because it is a Sunday and it is week 13.
And that means we have Armchair.
Yes.
Armchair is joining us live as he does on Sundays.
Mr. David Smith.
What's happening, fellas?
Armchair commentary. Once again, coming in to, set the ground level for the DFS stuff, and we love his opinion. Have him on the show with us each and every day, and of course, hit like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Join the House of Reprehensibles. All right, let's get into it. Week 13 of the NFL. We'll have plenty to talk about in college football coming up on tomorrow afternoon's ESPN Asheville show. All right, NFL this week. What's the biggest storyline for you?
Oh, it's Mustachio Day. We're back.
Old Gardner Minshew looks like he is going to be the starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts twisted his ankle against the Giants, and so now the Jets get
Mustachio. It is a mulleted man starting in the NFL today.
Does he still have the mullet?
I don't know, and I don't care. He will always have it in my heart. And I want to ask the number one question that I wanted to ask David Smith when we started this. How much Gardner Minshew is too much Gardner Minshew on DraftKings? Because I know my answer, and it's an infinity symbol.
It's pretty hard to get off of Minshew on DraftKings.
He's $4,000. Would you like to hear a slew of other quarterbacks who are more expensive than him? Oh, let's play this game. Sam Ellinger, Chase Daniel, Kyle Allen, Sean Mannion, friend of the show, Jake Luton, Nick Foles.
You forgot David Bloch.
David Bloch. A guy who literally gives you his fantasy outlook in his name, David Bloch. I cannot find a way that I don't play Gardner Minshew in every DraftKings lineup I have.
It's a good day to pay up for running back.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. One time, like 3 times in every lineup. My number one objective setting DraftKings lineups this week was, how do I get Joe Mixon into every lineup that I could possibly fire out there?
Yep.
My second objective was, can I really pay $7,200 for Alexander Madison?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to have to find the savings somewhere. And then Jalen Hurts went, low prices, love the savings.
Brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets.
And here we are.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal. I will say this, though. If you're playing on DraftKings, Minshew is going to be chalky.
Oh, yeah.
So
40% minimum.
Everyone's going to be all over him. But it is like, if you were streaming a quarterback this week, that's the quarterback to stream and redraft. I don't know how you could get away from it.
This will be the first time I have played a quarterback that I did not stack with another player in 4 years. Because I don't care. I don't expect him to be good. I'm not sitting here telling you he's going to score 20. I'm telling you he's going to score 15. And it allows me to have Alexander Madison and Joe Mixon and the receiver of my choosing and the defense I want and George Kittle, who is the third player that I have tried to shoehorn into every single lineup that I've done. No Debo, and George Kittle is priced down. That seems like a combination that is going to work out just fine for me.
Kittle's way cheap.
Way too cheap.
Cheap.
Kittle is 5,600.
Yeah.
So you start
59 right now on DraftKings.
Okay, 59.
He went up.
So you look at this and just go, how do I not do that? How do I not start every lineup with Minshew, George Kittle, and then anybody else that tickles your pickle? I haven't figured out, and I will put out the DraftKings lineup of doom and destruction at the end of this show. I have not figured out who the other 2 receivers are going to be. I'm hoping something's going to jump out at me before the show's over. Armchair, do you have a receiver that's a must play for you today?
It's that. Okay, so that Bengals game is looking. I think they're going to score 80 points.
A jillion?
I think that's going to be one of those. Every year we get a game where it's like 43-40, and I feel like this week is that week. I feel like this week it's Justin Herbert going, I need to get a win because it's looking real bad. Super talented team, they're just not gelling. And I'm looking at the Bengals going, we have a chance to win our division, not just make the playoffs. So I think that I think there's got to be a receiver in there. It might be T. Higgins. Depends on what the rest of the lineup looks like. I might sacrifice a running back. I think that Mixon is probably a plus. And I think that I probably go T. Higgins. I might go. I don't think I go Jamar here. But yeah, that game is looking mighty appealing. And I'm going to be honest, there's probably some love in here for Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle's the one that I couldn't stop getting to. The only thing that scares me about Waddle is Devontae Parker's back. And then that I feel like that splits that entirely too much for a quarterback that I just don't love.
If you're looking for like inexpensive, Devontae Parker is the way to go.
There's another cheap one that I'm just drunk on because his price is stupid. Josh Reynolds, his price is dumb. He's $3,400. He's the one in Detroit, and he's the only one that Jared Goff really trusts.
34 is too cheap.
It's dumb. I looked at that price and went, did you not watch the Thanksgiving game? Or, and we all know, we're all well aware that Minnesota can't stop anybody, right? And I'm not saying it's going to be great. I'm just saying you've taken away DeAndre Swift, and now you've got Jamal Williams, who is priced down and is a must play to me. And then you get Josh Reynolds, and I'm sitting here going, damn, I wish I never thought I'd say this out loud. Damn, I wish I could get Jared Goff into this lineup.
Jared Goff.
Yeah, here's a phrase I didn't think I'd ever say again in my life.
No, not a chance.
All right, Tank. What is your grandiose takeaway of this day?
My grandiose takeaway of this day, I think it's going to be the winner of Cincinnati and Los Angeles is going to tell me a lot about how the rest of this season is going to unfold. Because I've been on the fence with the Chargers, and I think if they can pull out a win against Cincinnati, I'm going to have to reassess what I think about that last playoff spot in the AFC.
Well, I feel like Vegas is trying to tell you exactly what's going to happen in that game. First of all, the over-under in that game is entirely too low. Mm-hmm. You want something to take to betus.com, use promo code Sportsocracy, and make all the monies? And just remember, this is the same guy that told you to bet the shit out of Alabama on Friday. The over-under in that game is 49.5. They might score 49.5. I feel like whoever is doing the transcribing for Vegas, they missed a word. He heard 49.5. I think they meant 49.5. Plus, that is one of the only games on this slate that doesn't have wind issues early. Mm-hmm. Virtually every game in the early slate is going to be windy as fuck.
If this goes the way I think it's going to go, they could beat 100. there's
I
a
could
possibility
see this game being 45-42. Now, the only thing that scares me is that there is a possibility the Bengals blow them out.
Yes.
I do not like the Chargers coming away from the West Coast. They have not traveled well. And it does scare me a little bit that this could get blowouty.
Mm-hmm. And if it does get blowouty, it's only going to be one way. It's only going to be the Bengals.
The Chargers are blowing out the Bengals.
Exactly. Because to me, there is no shot that Joe Mixon doesn't have a monster day.
To me, he is the no doubt you must have him in every lineup. If you don't, you did it wrong.
I agree.
And then it gets into, all right, so coming away from Joe Mixon, are there other elements of this game that I'm really all that interested in? Do either of you have, start with Tank because he's the one on the screen and we'll roll to Dave. Is there another player in this game that you really want?
I would say Jamar Chase. Just because he has that ability, and they're going to score. They're going to score a whole bunch of points, and it's not all going to be on Joe Mixon, I don't think. So I think Jamar Chase has to be the other one, and I'm thinking about Mike Williams as well. If the Chargers are going to hang in this game, and if they're going to win this game potentially, Mike Williams has to have a good game. He has to be the downfield threat. So those are two guys that, I'd be interested in them.
I'm trying to get to my matchup chart. The Armchair, anybody else you like in Cincinnati, L.A., while I try to find this fucking sheet that they make damn near impossible to find?
I like Mike Williams is actually, mark it on the calendar. Tank made a very good DFS observation.
Hey!
He's 5,700 on DraftKings. So if you're looking to go a little contrarian where everybody is going to be very high on Cincinnati, Mike Williams is definitely a must start. And I think you're right. If the Chargers plan to hang, it's going to be a Mike Williams, Keenan Allen kind of day. Obviously, Eckler is a must start, although I think you're counting on receptions. I like T. Higgins better than Jamar Chase. Only for the money on DraftKings, if you're asking me pick one of the two to have a bigger game, I'm also picking T. Higgins. And I don't like, given the price of everybody else, if we're going daily, there are better options at tight end than, paying down for Uzoma, Numa. Not necessary to do that. And again, Eckler is just really high priced. If you're talking like redraft, I think you need to play Mike Williams today. I think if you are someone that has I'm playing Mike Williams today in the Armchair League. I always have to play Mike Williams. I don't have Herbert, but I wouldn't mind stacking those two. I think that they have to get something going.
So one of my big takeaways from this game, the Los Angeles Chargers have shadowed receivers a grand total of 8 times all year. It's happened 5 times in the last 3 weeks. Do you know what the best game any of those receivers have had is?
No.
It was Gabriel Davis being shadowed by Tavon Campbell. You're going to get Casey Hayward on Jamar Chase. I think T. Higgins is the layup. If I'm stacking Burrow, which I'm not, by the way, I want Joe Mixon. I want all the Joe Mixon, and I don't really have to have anything else. Don't have to have anything else.
Okay.
But now if I look at the Bengals side of this, of what they're going to do, they tend to like to shadow William Jackson. Well, William Jackson's not going to play in the slot. He's not a slot corner. It's not what he does. So that tells me I'm less on Mike Williams and I'm more on Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's very expensive. I also don't mind the tight end. Donald Parham, which they refuse to call his name anything even vaguely fucking sensible. I don't mind Donald Parham today. I could see him getting in the end zone. Solely because, all right, so you try to put Jesse Bates on him. I love Jesse Bates. Donald Parham's 10 inches taller than him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to have a 40-inch vertical when you're almost a foot shorter than I am. I think that's one of the only mismatches they have. Like I said, I think William Jackson's going to shadow Mike Williams. Mm-hmm. So I'm less on the Mike Williams, more on the Keenan Allen. But I'm not rushing out. I think this game's going to score a lot of points, but I think it's going to be very evenly dispersed.
Right. The one thing that has... Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Tank.
No, go ahead, Armchair.
I was just going to say, do you think that Parham is going to take some of those check down receptions from Eckler, given that matchup?
No, the way they use Parham is you will not. I mean, he'll be on the field, but he's just he's an over-the-top deep threat between the 20s. Then they get into the red zone, and that's where you start actually seeing them target him. I could see Donald Parham having 3 targets in this game, scoring twice. And I have been reasonably good at tight end things over my life. That's just the name that I can't. I don't love tight end if I'm not playing George Kittle. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't deep dive tight end because I saw Kittle and went, well, that's what we're doing. I don't really have to think about anything else because that is stupid.
Hit the easy button. That was easy.
I am the easy button. Because I'm easy as a community college math class.
The main thing that concerns me for Los Angeles is the continued drops problems that they have. They have, like, depending on what service you look at, they're like either, I think it's 2 or 4 on drops this season. Keenan Allen has been pretty damn good in the last 3 weeks. I think he's got a string of games here where he's had 7 catches each game at least. But he's also dropped the ball 5 times. They just can't keep leaving points on the board.
Nope.
And they do that a lot, which is why I took Cincinnati in this game.
All right, let's play a fun game.
Yeah.
Even though we can't see Armchair, we can hear him. There is one game on this slate that has a higher over-under than 50 points. Name it.
Washington,
higher
Vegas.
over under than 50?
Mm-hmm. All right, Tank's in with Washington, Vegas. It's at 48 and has not moved.
Okay.
And I would bet the fuck out of the under.
And it's only on the Sunday slate?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I got news for you. If you're playing in season-long fantasy leagues and you're expecting much of anything out of anybody in New England, Buffalo, you're going to be disappointed. Because not only is it going to be cold as hell, they're expecting lake effect snow.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never seen what that actually is, I think you're going to get... Our Canadian friend can probably explain this better than I can, but lake effect is fun because it can snow 10 inches and 5 miles down the road, nothing. So you're just kind of guessing what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is going to be Indy, Houston, but it's probably that Bears-Cardinals game.
Indy, Houston is 45.5. Bears-Cardinals is 42.
42.
And it's going to be grossly windy there. The answer's Tampa Bay and the Falcons. Which tells me
it's
I'm
over
gonna
50?
Yeah, it's 50 and a half. Ronnie George got it in the comments. That tells you what? I'm going to want something.
Mm-hmm.
How many corners do the Falcons have that are worth a shit?
One.
Who's he going to defend?
Mike.
Nope.
Godwin?
Gronk.
It'll be Godwin if he's in the slot. It'll be Tyler Johnson if he's not, because A.J. Terrell plays in the slot predominantly.
Okay.
You know what that means? You know what name I didn't say A.J. Terrell could end up on? Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I don't see how I'm not playing Mike Evans. That's the one I keep coming back to going, okay, so I got Josh Reynolds, I got Mike Evans, the rest of my lineup set. I'll throw a dart at a board on whoever the third one is. I don't really give a shit.
Okay.
And here's the other element of this that I have yet to hear anybody say this, and I think Mike Evans is going to be lower owned because of what I'm getting ready to say.
Mm-hmm.
He's had one game over 20 fantasy points in a month. Do you know what he did against Atlanta the first time? He had 25.
Mm-hmm.
9 catches, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans is probably my favorite receiver play of this on this day. And I want something from Atlanta, but I can't figure out how it's anything other than Cordero Patterson.
No. Kyle Pitts, maybe. How are you going to defend him?
Well, the problem is that it's been strikingly easier than people think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he's a matchup nightmare. The problem is that Matt Ryan can't get him the ball because you're not worried about anything. Russell Gage, cool, I'll leave him one-on-one. I don't give a shit. Olamide Zaccheaus. It was one thing when they had Calvin Ridley. Now that you don't have that on the other side, I can sell out on Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
I can put Devin White and a safety over the top and put a corner on him, and I'm not worried.
The problem is, how many safeties do we have left? I don't think Whitehead's going to play in this game. And Mike Edwards he's suspended.
Yeah,
because he got caught up with Antonio Brown with breaking federal laws and shit.
Yeah, he got a fake Vax card that had immunization spelled with one M.
Don't do crimes, folks.
Don't do
crimes. Don't do crimes. Were you aware that's a federal crime?
Yes.
Okay.
I was.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
It's always a good day to not do crimes, guys.
I again am going to say this for the 11th jillionth time. Why in the fuck can we put somebody on the moon and we still have a business card from a damn real estate office as our immunization records? Oh, we can't put them online. Okay. Cybersecurity, something we do pretty well.
Is it, though?
Better than anybody else.
Okay, all right.
You know what we don't appear to do well? Colds. We don't deal with colds well. I love Mike Evans today.
Mike Evans is your home run hitter.
God bless. And the more I'm looking at this, there's another running back I love too.
Leonard Fournette.
No.
Everybody's going to be on Fournette heavy this week.
Hard. There's another one.
I was shocked at his price. I was looking through trying to set a lineup earlier today, and he's at 7,300. Mm-hmm. And after you put up 4 touchdowns, I guess that's a good market or a correct market correction.
It's not wrong. I mean,
it's his career high though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I get it. I understand why you would do it. I'm just not gonna.
No.
The one I'm talking about is Javonte Williams. No Melvin Gordon. I am dead convinced that this Kansas City defense is not as good as it is played.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can't have Javonte Williams on the main slate, but you can have him late if you play the showdown. Which, if you do, I need a 500-word essay of why.
Or if you play one of those wider contests, don't they have a full week contest where it lumps in the night game and the Monday night game?
Yeah, there are some of those. Mac Jones asked in the comments, Giants or Dolphins. I took the Giants to cover. Dolphins will win, but I got the Giants to cover. That Dolphins team has a good old boo-boo kitty left in them, and I have a funny feeling it's today.
But you think it's coming at home against a backup quarterback?
Because there's too many elements. This is one of those stereotypical trap games where you look at it and go, oh, look how bad they were offensively against Philadelphia. We're better than Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And you just dookie in your drawers because you got Devontae Parker coming back in, and you got to get all these things acclimated. Think about what I'm going to say.
Okay.
How many games has Tua Tagovailoa been really good in his career when he had all of his targets? The best we've ever seen, one of them's been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Invariably, one of them's been hurt. The best two stretches he ever had were the last few weeks with no Devontae Parker, and was it a year ago? With just Gesicki.
Mm-hmm.
Parker was hurt then too. He gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he has that rare disease where every morning he wakes up and his bones are made of glass, and he breaks his legs every morning, and he breaks his arms every afternoon. It's from SpongeBob.
I'm on the other side of that one. I think Miami is going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm with Tank on this one.
Had Georgia.
I
had Bama. Just throw it out.
I totally see what you're saying, Jeremy, in the trap game. I still love Miami's defense here. And I feel like the Giants don't have anything at all.
They don't, but it's ballooned too much. This is one of those Vegas overcorrections. All right, just curiosity. I want to see how close you can come to this. Every week I get Vegas rankings where they basically put a numeric value on quarterbacks. Okay. How many points it affects the spread? Mm-hmm. How many points does Daniel Jones affect the spread by?
2.5.
You're too high.
1.
You're too low. It's 1.5. What does Mike Glennon do?
-1.
Nope.
Flat.
Still a veteran guy. It's half a point. So you got a 1-point discrepancy between Daniel Jones and Mike Glennon.
Mm-hmm.
The line's moved 5 full points. It's an overcorrection. This is what people do. This is why people that you meet that are like lifer gamblers is what they do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
They eat shit like this for breakfast. Because are there games where you'll come out and have, a Mike White against the Bills? Yeah. You know when that doesn't tend to happen? Against teams that aren't that good. The Dolphins are not that good. And right now they've been emboldened with this cover 0 bullshit. Keep doing that. Fuck around and find out. Somebody will figure out how to beat that. And when they do, you're going to get eviscerated.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's going to be Mike Glennon.
May not be.
Kenny Golladay.
Too much. I'm looking at that line as we speak going, I would have had that at, I think they had it probably right at 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's moved to 6.5. At worst, the deepest I could get was 5.
And, of course, you can lock in your wagers at betus.com. BetUS.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy, and they will still give you that deposit bonus of 125%, up to $2,500. BetUS.com. Promo code Sportsocracy.
Oh, Chuck G asked if we could get some Bama jelly for Tank. You mean like...
I don't like that.
I do a lot, and I control the buttons. So I would. And you know why you're getting that? There's one very simple reason that you're getting that.
Why is that?
Fire those cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to have some fun with this one.
Mm-hmm.
This has become my new favorite button.
Good. I'm so happy that you found happiness in your life.
It's only one notch above.
I'm here for the gangbang.
That one is that's still real high on my list. By the way, I just want to throw this out there to people that watch both of our shows.
I'm your huckleberry.
That button.
I'm here for the gangbang.
And that button are in the same pot. Do you know how carefully I have to hit I'm your Huckleberry on the ESPN show? Every single day I think, why have I not changed this? Because it's in the same button pot.
Mm-hmm.
I have this weird fear that I'm one day just going to go, hey, welcome to the league.
I'm here for the gangbang.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Oh, and fire.
Oh, you suck again.
Oh, no, he suck again.
All right, let's start going game by game here.
There's not a lot in many of these because there are serious weather issues today.
Well, and here's also the thing. A lot of the matchups in Week 13 have given us games where you should think, yeah, this should be no doubt. Like I went through and I had to struggle to come up with underdogs when we went through and picked the segments because, I mean, Minnesota, Detroit. We know one of those teams is far superior, right? We know that the Minnesota Vikings are far superior to the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
It should be easy. But Detroit's at home, and they're playing in a division game. The last time they played this game was close. You got no Dalvin Cook for Minnesota, which is not very much of a problem. You got Alexander Mattison, and yes, you have to play to Alexander Mattison today.
Alexander Madison's must play.
Despite the price.
Mm-hmm.
The price went up. He's no longer in the 5,000 range in DFS. He's now at 7,400, 7,300.
And I don't care. I'll still pay it. With the Gardner Minshew savings, it's very palatable.
You got no DeAndre Swift on the other side for the Detroit Lions, so Jamal Williams is going to be the guy.
5,400.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all the way in. Mike Rawson said in our comments, watch the Vikings lose to Detroit. This line started at 7.5, and it's gone down.
Mm-hmm.
We got to recharge your Brave batteries.
Vegas trying to tell you what they think is going to happen in this game, that Minnesota's not as good as you think, and they're going to struggle with Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is a guy that can run between the guards and just steal your will to live.
Minnesota has always been a team that plays to the level of their competition. It's been the hallmark of the Mike Zimmer era. Of we can play close with really shitty teams, but guess what? We're going to play really close with really good teams, too. I mean, the field goal games that they've already had this year with the Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers. And then they've also had one-score games with guys like teams like the Detroit Lions.
Here's what I'll tell you. The Minnesota Vikings have shadowed a receiver less than any team in the NFL.
Okay.
Josh Reynolds is $3,200. He's the best receiver on that team by a lot. I have a Minnesota stack, a Minnesota-Detroit stack, which is gross to say out loud, but I do.
Mm-hmm. But I just don't care. You can't make me care about Josh Reynolds, I don't think.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to play a lineup like mine that's really heavy set at the top.
Top heavy, yeah.
You're going to have to do something.
Okay.
You're going to have to find a cheapie, and there ain't a cheap running back out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's just not one. I mean, you can try to.
Sony Michel.
Good luck.
Gross.
Darrell Henderson's not going to play, so Sony Michel becomes the one against the Jaguars. Okay, I don't care.
Allow me to defer to Armchair on that one.
Yeah, it's gross.
I just don't care.
As someone who watched Sony Michel a lot, they haven't used him the way they're going to, and I don't know if I trust it. I wouldn't pay for it.
Nope, I wouldn't either.
I mean, and he's 4,300. The Jaguars are not as bad against the run as people think, and he hasn't seen more than 11 carries since the third week of the season. I'm good. Could he fall in the end zone? Sure. But if you play Sony Michel, that means you're not playing Jamal Williams, Madison, Mixon, any of the slew of other players that I'm really high on.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just checking here. Injury-wise, the Vikings don't have any linebackers.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Hold on. Stephen Tao asked, Dallas Goedert, Noah Fant, or Jared Cook. And then he said, is this thing on? You have to remember, when we have a third person, I have to come all the way back to the screen. So it does take a minute to see that. So it's exactly how to get us to notice it. Or Tank could be doing it.
I could be.
I would go.
I forget that the chat box is there sometimes.
I know.
So, you know.
Yeah, no, it's just one more thing. You know, buttons, graphics. If you ever walk in our studio, one of the things that will really catch you is that Tank's side is all nice and pristine, and it's only got a few things in it, and mine is just electronics stacked on top of each other. Weird how that works. My answer to that question, I would say Jared Cook last. I'm going to go Fant, and maybe this is me being a bit of a Jets homer, but the Jets pulled a safety off of Philadelphia's practice squad, Elijah Davis, I think, that they are really fond of. So they're not as bad against tight ends as people think. They were much worse when it was Marcus May, as Marcus May had this fun game of, hey, I'm going to let you catch it, and then I'm going to run alongside you for a while. Because I just want to. He's like a German Shepherd. I just want somebody to run with me. I would go Fant by a pretty aggressive margin, actually.
Okay.
Jonathan Wells said, "We forget about you too."
Thanks, Jonathan.
Dick. Oh, that's funny. That was good. I like that a lot.
So you're going Fant, Goedert, Cook last.
Yes. JT Money asks, how do we feel about Miles Sanders? Here's my fear with Miles Sanders. I'm afraid he's hurt, for one. Two, I don't know exactly what this game's going to look like. And I just feel like this is going to be gross between the tackles, Philadelphia running the ball with no Jalen Hurts. I could look, you're going to tell me I'm crazy and that I'm trying to feed a narrative. Bryce Hall's going to run with Devontae Smith. They finally figured out, hey, we have one good corner. One. Maybe he should be on your best player. So I don't love Devontae Smith today. I do love every other pass catcher. I keep looking at Quez Watkins' name and just going, I don't want to do this, but I think I should. The Jets gave up a shitload of big plays. Like, I could see him hitting, like, one catch, 75 yards. First play of a drive, and they just non-route him on Javelin Guidry or whoever the hell else is going to be on him.
Yeah. But is that going to be worth the play? That one play?
Oh, he's 3,500 or something like that.
Okay.
He's ridiculously cheap. Do you have any warm and fuzzy feelings about Quez Watkins, Dave?
Yeah, I do. I'm actually constructing a super spicy lineup with Reynolds, Watkins, and Gronk at tight end because he is also a pay down. And then running Mixon, Eckler, probably Minshew, and then find someone else for my flex and defense.
You could probably afford Barry Sanders at that point, so you probably have anybody you want.
Yeah, we got some room to play around there, but I like the spiciness of it. If we're going there, I wouldn't mortgage your house on it. I wouldn't play the bet your house game. And if you're like I mentioned last week, if you're behind in fantasy and you need a wide receiver to stream, Watkins might be a shot in the dark worth taking. Just understand his floor is like the floor. He's buried.
How much does it change the game plan, though, with Gardner Minshew being back there?
Exponentially. It changes everything about the game plan. That's why I don't feel super warm and fuzzy about Miles Sanders. Boston Scott, you could do worse. I could see Gardner Minshew. Look, I'm going to say something, and I couldn't say this on the ESPN show because the Jets are a 7-point dog, and I, for the life of me, am not going to give up Jets +7 to him because that's still my second favorite line that we've ever had in the history of the show. Second to...
Wait.
I think the Jets are going to beat the Eagles. I really do. I think the Jets are going to beat the Eagles.
It's not going to happen.
It's fine. You keep saying that.
Yeah.
What have the Eagles done well this year? Run. Why? because you have a quarterback that can run over people. You don't have that now. Now you have a quarterback that has to sit there down back there and drop down. The Jets put 7 guys in the box. There's no fear. There's this mythology that Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback. He's fucking not. He was really good at sitting back in games they were down by 30 and taking cover 3 and dink and dunking and winding up with 300 yards. That's what he was good at. So now you're going to put him in the Meadowlands because this game's in New York. What have I always said about quarterbacks in the Meadowlands?
The wind fucks them.
The wind fucks people up routinely. The Jets could have had Gardner Minshew. They didn't pursue that. They went Joe Flacco instead. Why?
Stronger arm?
Bingo. I think Gardner Minshew may struggle to do anything down the field. Now, can you beat the Jets? Sure. Matt said in the comments, what have we done well? Nothing. Not a damn thing, except Elijah Moore. I just got a feeling. I haven't looked at this in 2 days, so I just need to know what the number is. 85% of the money's on Philadelphia. Remember how much of the money was on Alabama?
Was it 93?
It was 94% on Georgia.
Yeah.
When everybody in the industry goes one way, you go the other. I feel like the market on this is too low. With Jalen Hurts, I had it 5.5. Jalen Hurts is worth. Jalen Hurts is worth 2.5 points. At this point, with the way they call that offense, Gardner Minshew's probably dead flat or a loss of 0.5 point. I think you've got about 2 points of play there.
Yeah. I don't know why. Why do I see Philadelphia coming out looking like a completely different team and people actually having these thoughts of, this is it. Gardner Minshew is now our quarterback.
Oh, there are a lot of people that think Gardner Minshew's going to be the quarterback.
He throws 3 touchdown passes, throws for 300 yards, and they go, oh, this is what our offense can be?
Here's what I need you to remember. They tried this. They tried this pass-heavy thing. It wasn't just Jalen Hurts. Nobody separates. Nobody on this team scares you. The Jets are good against slot receivers, so I'm out on Jalen Reagor. Quez Watkins is the only one that makes sense. Quez Watkins and then maybe Goddard or the running backs out of the backfield.
Yeah.
And since they took out Gerard Davis and put in Quincy Williams, they haven't been as bad against receiving running backs as they were.
All right, Matthew Hoffman's going to explode if we don't talk about Jonathan Taylor. He's awesome.
I don't understand why people ask questions like this.
That's
like, if you have him in season long and you don't play him, you're out of your fucking mind.
Right. And you know, if you can find enough savings everywhere, then yeah, you're going to play him in DFS too because he's going to have a monster day.
But I'm not. I have no interest in Jonathan Taylor.
Hey, that's fine.
I can tell you. So I literally just built this line while you guys were going in on why the Eagles are going to figure out something to do. Although I don't trust Sirianni as far as I can throw him. And
nope.
And Miles Sanders running 7 yards per carry and got hurt a little bit, and then they went away from him completely. Tells you everything you need to know about how that offense is going to run. I still like Minshew today, obviously, as we mentioned. I went Minshew, Eckler, Mixon, Keenan Allen, Josh Reynolds, Quez Watkins, Gronk, Mike Evans, and the 49ers defense. And that's a bit of spice for you with Quez and Reynolds, but everybody else is a stud.
How much did that leave on the table?
$100.
I would have thought it was more than that. There's nothing wrong with that.
On the table.
It sounds very similar to what I'm going to fire out at the end of this show. Jonathan Taylor for DFS, though, here's the problem. Why would you run him in the ground? Do you remember what happened the last time they played? He had 14 fucking carries total. And one of them, if I'm not mistaken, went for 83 yards. It was an 83-yard touchdown because I played him that week. I mean, yeah, he's probably good for 25 to 30. But at 9,000 with this many running backs that I like better. This is one of the things that people have to understand with DFS. All right, so this is a bit of a you gotta
we gotta recharge your Brave batteries.
With the way you look at DFS. If Jonathan Taylor scores 30 and Joe Mixon scores 25, Joe Mixon was a better play because he's cheaper. So you have to get points per 1,000 and all that shit. Because if you're trying to win a 50-50, who gives a shit? Then, yeah, trot out Jonathan Taylor. He's a lock for 20-plus points.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're trying to win a tournament, which is what I'm doing, then I got to get contrarian somewhere. And I think Quez Watkins is a nice place to do that. And then I can just be chalk as fuck. It doesn't matter. Josh Reynolds, same thing.
Right.
I can be chalk as hell. I can have Mike Evans. I can have Brandon Ayuk. I can have Mixon and Madison, and none of it matters. And I can have Minshew, who's going to be, Minshew will be 40% owned today. Minimum, might be higher than that.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to go different? Play Brady. Go real expensive at quarterback. The only problem is that you're going to have to get 3 times the points out of Brady that you get out of Minshew for that to be the right call.
Mm-hmm. And that's hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do in a game where, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but it could be in the realm of possibility of just Brady's fine. 3 touchdowns, 280 yards.
If I'm paying up for a quarterback,
it's nothing huge.
If I'm paying up for a quarterback, it's Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not sure that I don't trust the Kyler Murray thing. Stafford against the Jaguars. Ooh. I don't like Herbert. Hurts is out. I mean, if I was going to play one that's above 6,500, it'd be Kirk Cousins. But for me, it's the mustachio.
Save up at quarterback. Play Gardner Minshew.
The other thing to remember, wind is going to be a problem in every game that's not in the 1 o'clock slate, at least. That's not Eagles, Jets, Giants, Dolphins, Chargers, Bengals.
Mm-hmm. JT
Bucks,
Money.
Falcons.
Yeah, JT Money on the money with this one. T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton always eats against Houston. He scored a touchdown last week. He's pretty cheap. He's 4,300, something like
44.
that. Yeah.
When was the last time T.Y. Hilton had more than 5 targets? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't in this calendar year.
No.
I just think it's super boomer bust. I think he has a very low ceiling because it's a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
He would have to hit 2 of the first 3 big plays for that to matter, and I lean more. First of all, he plays out of the slot, and the best thing that Houston does is defend the slot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, I know Elijah Moore had a touchdown last week, but he plays on the outside a lot too. Hilton's not going to. He will be in the slot predominantly. I actually like if I'm playing a receiver for the Colts, it's Michael Pittman.
Okay, Armchair, what do you think?
I don't mind T.Y. Hilton in redraft and fantasy. There are way too many guys that I can take that I think have more upside.
He's a guy that if you're playing in season long, he's probably readily available. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could do worse.
I have him in Dynasty, and I'm going to start him in Dynasty because I have no one else to start. But this could also be a game where you're seeing a lot of Nyheim Hines at the end.
I like Nyheim Hines a lot in this game.
I could see them splitting carries with Taylor, giving him a bit of a reprieve, given what do you run, like almost 30 touches last game. Like you have that extra game built in this year, and the extra game in real life football, forget fantasy for a second, which is hard for us to do, means that you're going to start to see in these late season games, pre-playoff, game script is going to change. We're going to see guys like Taylor getting more rest if they're up 2 scores with 10 minutes left. If they're winning the game, we're going to see more Hines than we are Taylor, especially if you're trying to contend for a playoff spot and you're winning. You want your guys healthy. You can't risk. Yeah, I mean, if you're the Colts, you can't risk losing Taylor ever, but you definitely can't risk losing Taylor against the Texans in early December if that means that your playoff hopes are dashed. So I think there's definitely going to be some Hines here. I also just don't. Division games suck. They suck. They're so hard to like. They're fun and they're good and it gets the rivalry juices going, but they're so hard to predict. The Texans could come out and play them real tough, and the Colts could win by 3. And neither of those outcomes would surprise me, a blowout or winning by 3. I'm leaning blowout. I think that the Colts they're up 2 scores by the end of the first.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that.
But you never know what's going to happen in division games. So Hilton's fine.
Just remember the last time they played this game, it didn't blow out until the third quarter. And it took an 83-yard touchdown run by Jonathan Taylor to start the blowout.
Yeah.
And Frank Reich. I would be remiss if I didn't say Frank Reich's fucking name because he makes me want to drink a lot.
Because he doesn't run to close out games.
Jonathan Taylor had 6 touches at halftime the last time we did this.
Mm-hmm.
So just we spent a lot of time on a running back that I don't. If you haven't seen long you're playing him, I'm not touching him in daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, nobody's going to be on anything for Houston. There's no reason to play a Houston player. I don't believe. There's one. Who? Brandon Cooks?
I could see a path to play Brandon Cooks. He's going to get Rocky Sin, who doesn't do much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always playable. He's always playable when Tyrod Taylor's in the lineup. So I'm not saying I'm rushing out to do it. I'm just saying nobody's there. I think the Colts are going to win this game and win it handily.
I agree.
I just think it's going to be dispersed. Ron George asked, do I play Michael Pittman Jr. or Josh Jacobs in my flex? Whew. I hate that question a lot.
Well, let's talk about that game because we haven't talked about it yet.
Hurt. Oh, he's always hurt.
Mm-hmm. The Washington football team against the Las Vegas Raiders. I still like Antonio Gibson in this game.
I like Washington to win this game. And look,
I do too.
I've said this multiple times. I think the Raiders are the better team. There's just something about this. Vegas is trying its damnedest to tell you should be on Washington. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. Because the defense is playing better. Antonio Gibson's going to be a headache. I think Curtis Samuel's supposed to be back for this one. Am I right or wrong on that?
I think you're right on that. But I'm not really sure I care all that much.
Can't hurt.
No, it won't hurt. The Washington football team has been focused on Antonio Gibson for the past 3 weeks. He's had 72 touches in 3 weeks. That stat still blows my mind. But what has he done with it? He's gotten into the end zone several times. He had 2 touchdowns against the Tampa Bay team that we didn't think it was quite possible for guys to have big pop games against that defense running. And he's been damn near great.
Curtis Samuel's active, it appears.
Okay.
Oh, that's from last week. Never mind. Chat. Can we just have a website that tells us this?
He was active last week and had, what, 1 target? 1 catch?
Hold on. I got to remedy something with Armchair.
Uh-oh.
You two, talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. Fix the bling there so that doesn't keep happening. But Las Vegas doesn't defend against the run well. And so I like Antonio Gibson. He's my number 1 play from this game. David, what do you think?
I don't mind Gibson in season long. Gibson in season long is probably going to get the ball a bunch. I really dislike Josh Jacobs in this game because the Raiders have proven one thing over and over and over again, and that's they don't know how to run an offense with the pieces that they have.
That's a good point.
I really like Josh Jacobs as a running back in terms of talent, in terms of situation. I think that he's good. However, they seem to like to run him 6 times, and if he doesn't score within those 6 times, they go away from him in a hurry. And they don't go to Kenyon Drake. They just stop running the ball. And the big takeaway I have from this year as a whole for the entire league is that teams that get their run game involved early and often and consistently stay with it are winning the games. And that's not just this year. That's most seasons. Although I'm sure there's people out there that will say, oh yeah, well, Mahomes has been tearing it up passing and Josh Allen in previous years, but this year seems to be very run dependent, and they don't move the ball with Jacobs the way that they want to or need to. Waller's out. I think he's out.
Yeah, he's out.
So what else are you touching here? Gibson will be it. If you're looking for a season-long starter, go with Gibson. In DFS, I am nowhere near my running back pricing is all in the 8,000 range. I think the lowest price running back I have is $6,000. So I don't see a path where I would play Gibson in DFS, but I understand the thought process. Makes sense.
So you're saving so much at wide receiver that you're going really high at running back, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's too many good plays at wide receiver that are cheap. Like really inexpensive. And like Jeremy mentioned, you have plenty of guys that are going to get you the point production versus the dollars paid. You're looking at points per thousand.
Yeah.
Is basically how you should play your DFS. And I like, Reynolds is there. Quez Watkins is there.
Right.
You've got, even if you wanted to pay up, I created a Burrow stack with Burrow and Higgins with Reynolds and Watkins and took the Jets D.
Aggressive.
That is aggressive.
Well, it is, but like we met Burrow, Madison, Mixon, Higgins, Reynolds, Watkins, Gesicki, Evans, and the Jets D, $900 on the table.
Nice.
Why would I pay $5,200 for Gibson at that point?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I taking out that's going to get me more points for the dollar?
Everybody knows how much I love Antonio Gibson. Loved him coming out in the draft, and have rubbed that in Jeremy's face a few times on this program. But when I looked at his price on DraftKings this week, I went, $5,400 seems stupid to me in what I feel like is a crush matchup for him. I had to squeeze him into the lineup.
There's a lot of questions in the chat about Hunter Renfrow. Do you know who's going to line up against him in the slot? A lot.
Norman?
Landon Collins. Josh Norman plays for the 49ers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I don't hate Renfrow. I don't love it. I think if you have him season long, you can play him, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Landon Collins has been better in this role than you think. Which is, again, it's another one of those things. I never thought I would say that out loud, but here we are. I don't hate I'm not playing him in DraftKings. If that's what anybody's asking. If you've got him in season long, you could do markedly worse. Like for the day.
Rob Johnson says Landon Collins is out.
Ooh. Well, I did not know that.
Ooh, that changes things.
That does change things. Yeah, all right. I'm in on Hunter Renfrow. But now you got to put it in the context of who it's against. All right, so my rankings for PPR, I've got Renfrow. I got to go to receiver.
Renfro's going to get his touches while you're looking that up. He is going to get, regardless, he's basically it for offense. There was some chatter about, and this is how little I cared about the play, Darren Waller's backup getting increased touches.
Foster Moreau.
He's aggressively inexpensive, like $2,700. I still don't love it. It's not really the play that I would love, but if you're streaming a tight end and you want a little love, maybe that's someone you could look at.
I don't hate Zay Jones either. I saw that in the comments. Stephen Tao asked, would you flex Najee Harris over Alexander Madison in DFS? There's only $100 difference. No. Because there might legitimately be 9 guys in the box against Najee. I mean, everybody's figured it out. You're just not scared of... Najee's going to have one of those weeks where the regression comes and the price comes down and everybody throws dirt on him and then he has a huge game. I don't think it's this week. Madison's one of those. You can fade that at your own risk. I know he's expensive. I know it's hard to pay that much for a backup running back, but it is what it is.
No.
I cannot in good conscience tell you to do anything but that.
Shocker of shockers, I'm not a huge fan of Las Vegas, but I'm definitely not a huge fan of Las Vegas when they don't have Darren Waller.
Yeah, I feel like here's something that would probably shock a lot of people. Vegas, the Vegas rankings have the Washington football team better than the Raiders. Home field is now not what it used to be.
I'm not sure that that's not true, especially in the last 5 weeks of the season.
I'm still not there, but without Darren Waller, that's going to change things because he changes a lot in that offense because he is he's such a target hog in that offense. You get away from that, and it's just this is one of those that I just keep looking at going, why is Washington a dog in this? I mean, if you're doing the 3-point swing home and away, that's not a thing anymore. We have disproven that for this is year 3 of us disproving how stupid that is.
Yeah.
So I'm on Washington. I like very little from this game, but I could be convinced on Hunter Renfrow.
All right, how about another game we haven't talked a lot about? The Rams and the Jaguars.
There's a reason we haven't talked much about that, because it's borderline poopy dog water irrelevant.
You don't want anything to do with it in fantasy.
Here would be my question: why? I mean, what do you think? If you have Cooper Kupp, hey, here's a breaking fucking news. Play him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sound the bear
I
makes.
don't know what do you like on it? What are you looking for here? You're looking like there's nothing cheap enough on the DFS side.
Okay.
But I mean, it was what receiver are you going to
after?
All right, the one thing you could convince me of, you're not going to convince me on Sony Michel. Oh, he's only $4,300. Yeah, and I won't be shocked if he has 10 touches in this entire game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you want to stack Stafford, and I do like Stafford, or you want to play Stafford. First of all, you're going to have to convince me how he's going to double whatever Gardner Minshew does, because he'll have to.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to tell me who you're going to stack him with. Because if it's Cooper Kupp, guess what? You're now out on at least one of the running backs, might be 2 of them.
Right.
And to me, there's just not a way to construct it in a game that I think is going to be over in a quarter, because they're going to beat the fuck out of Jacksonville. Now, that team has proven they are not – they're blowout proof, because if they blow teams out, they will just keep the foot on the gas until the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not running out to do it. I mean, if you got Stafford and season long, bully for you. I mean, I think he'll be fine. But it's not a DFS play in any way. Stephen Tao asked about James Robinson. He's hurt, been hurt, continues to be hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he can barely walk, but he gets up on game day and he's still good. I don't hate James Robinson today. Not a DFS play, not a play that just look at my running back rankings. If you've got James Robinson and you've got Jamal Williams and you've got, I'm just trying to think of things that could realistically happen. Alexander Madison, Javonte Williams. James Robinson's right in that Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Sony Michel tier to me.
Yuck.
They're going to be behind.
Mm-hmm.
He's hurt anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, is he playable? Yes.
All right,
but I don't love it.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Yuck.
I mean,
Yeah, that's about all on that,
gross.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Najee Harris. Last week he didn't do well. Jeremy, you've talked about how the Baltimore Ravens defense is getting better. What does Pittsburgh have at this point that scares you?
I have Najee Harris at 14 today. Would you like to hear a list of names he's behind?
Yes.
Javonte Williams, James Conner, Cordero Patterson, all of the ones that we've talked about this entire show.
Mm-hmm.
He's one spot ahead of Myles Gaskin.
I'm not trusting him. I'm sitting him in season long. I've got him in 3 leagues, and I've got better options, in my opinion.
Stephen Tao also has a really good point. The Ravens have no corners today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's legitimately 0, but it's pretty damn close.
But it's none you've ever heard of.
Does Ingles sell cornerbacks?
Low prices. Love the savings. But I have never seen a cornerback at Ingles.
No.
I mean, actually, it's a lie. The Ingles in South Carolina, I've seen a couple of Clemson cornerbacks there in my life. Hold on. Stephen Tao wasn't kidding.
0?
Every corner they have has an injury designation today.
Jesus.
All of them. There's not one on the fucking roster that doesn't have an injury designation. I
still like the Ravens.
Yeah, I still don't care. I don't care about Big Ben. And,
I could care less.
No, it's gross.
That's a 4:00 game, so we're not going to see the inactives until late. But that's interesting. That kind of makes me, I could see a path that I get to Deontay Johnson. I could see a path that I get to Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
I could see a path I get to Pat Fryermouth. I'm not going to like it. Stephen Tao, who is our resident Ravens fan, said, I'm not kidding at all. I'm playing Chase Claypool in DFS. I don't hate it. My fear is that they're just going to blitz the fuck out of Ben and go, cool, hit your little deep threat boyfriend. No big deal. Rob Johnson asks, how do you feel about Bateman? I don't hate it. I think waiting. I had him.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for this breakout game that has been supposed to come forever.
Your derision on Bateman is
it's just here we go again. It's not derision. It's just we keep hearing this week after week. He was on our waiver show. How many times? Like it felt like 7 weeks in a row, and it never happened. When is he going to break out?
This is a Baltimore revenge game for sure. Lamar's pissed. Lamar, I mean, if you listen to the way he talked about it, he said he played like a rookie. It would not surprise me to see him do some wizard shit out there today. Whether that's running the ball, whether that's, airing it out. This could be a big Lamar game. I would definitely be playing him in season long. Again, too expensive at DFS for me to want to touch.
And that's actually the scientific term for what Lamar's going to do. Some wizard shit. I actually agree with you. Which is a lot different than what Jared Goff is going to do today, which is some lizard shit.
Lizard shit? What does that mean?
There was an old joke from George Carlin that had lizard shit in it. So as soon as he said something that rhymed with that, I was just guaranteed I was getting in there somehow.
Oh, okay. All right.
Stephen Tell said Tank probably still thinks Scotty Miller's a stud. He does.
What?
Your derision on Bateman it's comical. Do you know how many receivers in the NFL have had 6 or more targets in every game for the last 6 weeks?
How
It's
many?
4, and Rashad Bateman's one of them. The difference is he hasn't scored touchdowns.
And he's caught, 3 of those balls? Like,
Rashad Bateman's got 30 catches, I think, in the last 6 weeks.
Really?
Let's see. He has 10, 13, 18, 25.
Last week doesn't count. It wasn't a real game for Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar had to. Now that's in his last 6 games. There was a break in there because of the bye.
Yeah. Okay. So he caught 4, 3, 6, 5, 3, 4.
Yeah. I mean,
Topped out at 80 yards.
What do you think a $4,900 receiver is going to do? I mean, by comparison, so this is. You kind of have to project. That's how this works. Let me just give you any random receiver around him. Oh, let's go with this one because he's a rookie too.
Okay.
Rondelle Moore had 11 catches last week, by the way, for 51 yards, which is still one of the funniest stat lines I've ever seen.
It's awful.
In his 6 games previous to that, 2, 3, 2, 3, 5. That's what these guys do. Yet you're not getting 8 receptions out of a guy that you're getting for $4,900. Now you might get it, and then they're $6,000 the next week, but you have to hit those weeks. I don't mind Bateman this week solely because I don't know who's going to defend him. I think when I did the coverage chart on this, it's Cam Sutton, which Cam Sutton's one of those Sam Squanch players that drives me crazy. He's a Sasquatch because numerically he grades out well, and then I watch him and he looks like dog shit. So I don't mind Bateman at all this week.
Burrow or Stafford, PPR? Chris Hubbard says.
Burrow. Christopher Hubbard. We're like an AM meeting for sports, so welcome in. I would go Burrow. I could see Stafford only playing 3 quarters, and I could see him trying to get the run game going. But and they might score 2 defensive touchdowns because, Trevor Lawrence. Burrow's safer. If you told me a quarterback was the highest scoring quarterback of the week between those two, I would bet my house it was Joe Burrow.
Yep. I agree. Let's see. San Francisco, Seattle. Gross. I mean, on the San Francisco side, you got George Kittle. We've already talked about him. Brandon Ayuk. I got him in the lineup today.
Ayuk's going to be real chalky today. You want to know why you get lines right after they come out? This game is currently a 3-point San Francisco lean. What did it debut at?
8.
Seattle was a 1.5-point favorite.
How in Hades?
Beats the holy hibbity fuck out of me.
I mean, did they expect there was going to be a coronavirus breakout?
I think you could
Or
have
an
told me
Ebola
that Jimmy,
breakout?
You could have told me that Jimmy Garoppolo was going to die, as he once so famously said 3 days ago, and
Right.
I would still have taken San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. I don't see how that's quite possible.
I like Kittle and I like Ayuk. And obviously if I like both of them, I don't hate Garoppolo.
Eli Mitchell.
That's actually probably the part of this I don't love.
Why? Seattle doesn't defend against the run.
No, but I could see them hitting several big plays, and then it turns into Jeff Wilson or who the fuck ever else.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this game's ever going to be close.
Shanahan. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. JaMychal Hasty winds up with 12 touches in the game or some dumb shit.
Okay.
They run Kyle Juszczyk 6 times.
Okay.
And now don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Elijah Mitchell at all. Anytime I say something like that, I'm talking about for DFS.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't get there. I can't figure out how on God's green earth I'm going to get to 6,000 for Elijah Mitchell when I've got Jamal Williams, who's cheaper, a series of other running backs that are cheaper, maybe not as good.
Mm-hmm.
And Elijah Mitchell had 27 carries last week. He had 32 touches.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing that again because this will be a blowout.
No. Eli Mitchell's one of the, I know definitively, in one of the leagues that I have benched Najee Harris in. That's who I'm playing in his spot.
Here's the one thing I will caution you with Elijah Mitchell, and I've said this once, and it's I think I'm undefeated in this being true. He has 60 touches in 2 weeks. You don't do that for a reason. You can heed my warning, or this is one of those games where I can see Elijah Mitchell having 8 touches. It winds up 24-0, and we don't see him again. They put him in bubble wrap, and you don't see him again until next week.
Right.
So this don't need him.
You don't need him to beat Seattle.
No, this is going to be a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
And Seattle, I want nothing. Russell Wilson's still hurt. It's very obvious. I don't want anything. I think San Francisco's going to beat the smoke off of them.
All right, we ready to talk primetime games? Denver and Kansas City.
I think this line's stupid.
Like Kansas City's a 10-point favorite.
This line's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Like, am I the only one that remembers Kansas City couldn't stop a wet fart 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And you just think all of the sudden that it's going to just, it all works now.
Because we saw them limit Dallas to 9 points. And so this defense is elite now, isn't it?
No.
But I think that's how people are thinking. They figured it out. The offense was great 2 weeks ago. They scored enough to beat Dallas last week and were able to limit them to under 10 points.
Ron George in the comments says Ron George likes Kay Adams. Anytime you speak of the third person, it almost guarantees that I'll repeat it. And we are quite big fans of Kay Adams, too. Gotta love her.
Mm-hmm. So
I heard Kay Adams' name, and I didn't listen to another fucking word you said.
You just completely went out the window.
Yeah. See, I'm a stereotypical millennial. By the way, I just found out 2 days ago that I'm actually a millennial.
Yeah, you are.
I did not know that. Millennial is the year before I was born and up until whenever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and now that I know that, I don't listen to anything you say. I watch your lips move and wait for my turn to talk.
You're an older generation. I'm not going to listen to anything.
Yeah, listen here, boomer. Why don't you go watch your fucking MASH
Boomer.
reruns? Maybe watch
Fuck you. I like MASH.
A
Stop
little
it.
House on the Prairie. You old shit. Get out your vinyls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think of old things at this point.
Get out my what? Oh, my
Your
vinyls. My vinyls.
Replace the needle on your
I thought
record
you said
player.
vitals, and I was like, God damn, how old do you think I am? I got to take my vitals to make sure I'm still alive?
It's not a bad idea. I've seen how you eat.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Especially when I do this like every 10 minutes. Let's check his vitals now.
Why? Why do I let you do this?
Because you have any control over it, because the board's
Stop
over
it.
with me.
No, I mean, I do have control. I could turn you off, but then that means David can't talk, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Circle of life, bitch. I found my own kill switch.
I could just turn you off.
There's a path in this game where Kansas City loses, though. Are you like?
I think that's deep.
I'll tell you where I'm at with this. This game, Kansas City needs desperately, because everybody's been. Oh well, we've been seeing a lot of the Kansas City's back. The Chiefs are doing Chief things. They're not winning by a ton, right? They're not winning by, 14 to 20 something points like they had been. It's all defense.
Well, I mean, they blew out the Raiders. They struggled to score against the Packers, which is a good defense, by the way. They didn't score a ton of points against the Cowboys. This is what drives me absolutely insane. They're looking at a defense that 4 weeks in a row has held teams to 17-7, 14 and 9 points ago. Oh, the defense is back. Okay, let's really investigate what you were looking at there. Daniel Jones and the Giants, who suck donkey shit. The Jordan Love-led Green Bay Packers. The Raiders, who at that point didn't have any receivers left. And the Cowboys, who had Cedric Wilson as their one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little biased. And now you're coming up against Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton and Noah Fant, and I think Javonte Williams is going to have a great game. I'm not saying that I actually think Denver's going to win it. There's a path to it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think 10's stupid. You have to turn David. Oh, I was about to say, I saw his lips move and nothing happened. I went, oh, you forgot to turn him back up because you were scared I was going to go.
No, the only thing I touched over there was the cursor. I couldn't stand the cursor being on his nose anymore. And now it's crept back up to his shoulder. Like it's pissing me off.
Electronics.
I feel like this is an under for me. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game that we're used. I think people are still thinking of the Chiefs as 2019 Chiefs who go out there and run up, don't play any defense and just throw the ball 100 yards every 20 minutes. I don't see it happening. Denver's not that good. They're an average team, and I still stand by that, but I don't see them giving up, 70 points to Mahomes either.
That's where I'm at. I'm looking at this, and I did the comparison. Kansas City that game's off the board, by the way. Consensus, it's completely off the board.
Really?
Because the action on it's been so aggressive that they just went, okay, something's up. It was 9.5 the last I looked.
Okay.
What does Bettis have it at? I know you have it up. I just can't see it on my screen.
Yeah. Let's scroll down here and see what it's at.
9.5.
9.5.
By comparison, the Jets are not 9.5-point dogs to the Eagles. Indianapolis is a 10-point favorite against Houston. See, when you put those things side by side, you go, okay, that's dumb. All right, I'm getting the same value on Kansas City that I'm getting on Indianapolis. That's ridiculous. I still don't think they're that team defensively. I think this game will be closer. By the way, this is my favorite stat with this game, and I'm just going to keep saying it. The last time Teddy Bridgewater turned the ball over was week 7.
Wow.
They don't do that.
Right.
So I think it will be close. Kansas City, in my opinion, still wins, but I think this game will be close.
I agree. And that's why I was with you on the Denver plus the 10. It took me a long time to figure it out. Like, am I buying into Kansas City being completely back? I'm really not. Especially in a physical game. Like, who would have thought Denver was going to go down and beat the shit out of the Dallas Cowboys, and they did.
Physical.
Right.
That's one of the things you have to remember. Chris Hubbard asked in the comments, do we think the Bengals actually have a good chance of winning the division? I do.
Yeah.
I do. I have never switched my thinking on something as much as I've switched it on the Cincinnati Bengals. To equate it to something, it would be before the season, the Bengals were that girl that kept trying to touch my wiener on the school bus, and I wouldn't let them because they weren't that cute. Mm-hmm. And now, 20 weeks later, we're married. Weird. Shit progresses. We did have a Bengals fan that went back and was just hate speeching every video we did on the Bengals, and then they got to the last one. The exact comment was, well, Wish I'd seen that one first.
You're
and
right.
I went, that's funny.
That
I
is
should
funny.
go back and put tags of opinions have changed. New information has come to light.
Right.
And we don't still feel this way.
No, because I don't think that they will win the division, but there's a good chance. There is a good chance that they can win this division. I still think it's going to be a game spread when it comes out in the end. Baltimore will win it, but there is a good chance that Cincinnati does it. Yeah, I was completely wrong about them.
Yep.
And I don't mind taking my lumps when I have to. Go ahead and hit the fucking button. I know you want to.
I'm going to cut that into a much smaller clip.
Yeah, like to the point where they actually start the fight song.
Steven Tao said we need to bring back angry comments. Just wait. We're doing mock drafts for every team. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, it's going to get there. Don't worry.
Don't worry. Here's what I learned last year with the draft. People would bring up these super myopic players. They've never played a game off the practice squad. And I would have their team draft, say it's a corner, and they have that corner. That's their 7. And I would give them a corner who had fallen because, they need one of those. And I would get these diatribe paragraphs of, you're so stupid. You don't know who James Ekanoglu Malafani Bates is. And I'd go, no, I know he is. I know he is, and he sucks. Exactly as they still need a corner. Because if they didn't need a corner, he would have played, and I would note that. But,
right.
Okay. Sorry. That's just one of those things that I get to deal with every year with the draft that makes me want to pull my hair out at the root.
All right, and then Monday Night Football. Armchair, is it? Do you feel about this as the same way that I do? Like when your team has a big Monday Night Football game, you could really care less what else happens on Sunday. Like you're looking so forward to the matchup on Monday night because it's going to be such a good game that
I'm nervous as hell.
It kind of dampens the other slate or the Sunday slate.
So there are two parts of my football life: fantasy, which is all encompassing all the time, and then there's my fandom. And because I gamble and play DFS and play fantasy sports, I always care about what happens on Sunday. I just want to see good games. I'm also more inclined to, go run errands or do things now because my team's not playing, and that's fine. But yeah, I'm nervous as all hell. Honestly, I was really ready for a whole year to just take the year off, focus on fantasy. I don't need to worry about hope or any nonsense. And now we're going to contend for a stupid playoff spot. And goddamn Mac Jones being consistent.
Here's the thing. I keep betting against New England.
I'm broke as shit, and I don't mind saying it.
And I'm officially to the...
The disrespect around this place is ending today.
Okay. I feel like this game is going to look like somebody took a snow globe and shook it the fuck up in about... I'm going to go midway through the second quarter, and then it's just going to be pandalirium.
The one thing I will say about that Monday night game, obviously I want the Patriots to win, and with the weather the way it's going to be, I feel like New England does one thing better than Buffalo does, and that's run the football.
Yep.
They have a big bruising back in Stevenson. Damian Harris is quick, and Mac Jones loves to throw the ball 2 to 5 yards with accuracy. Even in the cold weather, I think he can do it. And the Bills' best running back was Josh Allen for the last couple of weeks. So it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun to watch. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat hoping they can win a turnover battle, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I dislike the Buffalo Bills run game. I've disliked it all year. It's why I've had Baltimore as a better team, because Lamar Jackson's a better runner. A more electric runner than Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a very good runner. And the Bengals are the most complete team in the AFC. The Bills don't scare like they should, but maybe this is the game they prove it.
It's going to be,
now that I've said all this, I'm boned.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for the rest of us. It's going to be fun for the rest of us to watch because, maybe not all of us. I love these games. I love like snow game 7-3, like, awful games. And if that's what this turns into, it's New England's game to win.
I'm taking Buffalo.
Who the fuck cares?
I'm just. God,
All
I
right,
love.
friendly wager, Jeremy.
I love having a whole slew of Joe Exotic quotes on this board. Go ahead, Armchair.
Here's the friendly wager. If the Patriots win, you need to only say nice things about the Patriots during the power ranking show next week.
I am never going to financially
And if the Patriots lose, I will make my social icons for my personal account. I'm not doing it for Armchair, but I'll do it on my personal account. JETS, Jet logos.
Allow me to respond. Wait.
I'm your boy.
All the way in.
Fair enough.
All the way in. I thought he was going to make me wear something New England, and I can't do that. My skin would actually burn.
I wouldn't do it to you.
I'm still waiting for the day I can get you into a Brady jersey.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it is.
It's not going to happen. You'll get me in a dress before you'll get me in a Brady jersey.
I told him the other day we've got 2 torture tickets to pay off. Me one
Tank,
and him
take that
one.
challenge right now.
Yeah,
He just offered a dress. He just offered you, Jeremy, in a dress.
Well, here's the thing. Me in a dress, not actually that weird. I've done it for 2 of the last 5 Halloweens. So, not that hard to get me in a
At
dress.
Angles, handing out Christmas cards.
and
Oh, no. That's
Jeremy in a dress at Ingles, handing out. What did you say?
I said Christmas cards.
Christmas cards. That's fucking
Obviously
beautiful.
Christmas cards.
Oh, I knew there was a good reason we brought you in on this program, and that you just paid it off right there. That's going to happen.
I don't know how Ingles would feel about that.
I think we need to go talk to our little friend over at Smoky Park Highway, because he, I think he'd be down for that. We can set you right outside next to the super enthusiastic Salvation Army bell ringer.
Oh, yeah. You mean the one that was going, Merry Christmas.
It was like Lurch from the Addams Family. Merry Christmas, dong.
It was
Season's
fantastic.
greetings.
I was like, all right, show a little life. Grimace.
Yeah, no, they gave me a red vest, and this is the only way that I can pay back my parole.
But if Tank loses, he has to dress as an elf.
Okay.
We've tried to get Tank in a lot of costumes. Here's the thing. It's hard to find a costume that's built for a child at adult width because he's only 5'6".
Stop that.
It's funny because it's true.
It's not true at all. And it's only funny because you're weird. You're a weird dude. Weird dude. All right, let's give out that fire DFS lineup for week 13, as we've only got
In fairness,
20 minutes here for people to set their lineup.
In fairness, it would be easy to find you a dress. We just have to go to Lane Bryant. Okay, sorry.
Wow.
I can't be the only one that laughs at that.
I keep on this diet plan. I can start shopping at Torrid.
At what?
Yeah.
What the fuck is a Torrid?
That's like Lane Bryant for young fat girls.
Indeed? I don't really want to know why you know that. Accessory after the fact. I don't need to know.
Say, I mean, I do have a wife to shop for.
Okay, so auditioning full-time other halves for this show when his wife murders him.
Well, I mean, facts are facts. Facts don't care about your fucking feelings.
Oh, he's not making it better.
No, I'm not. Please move on with your DFS lineup before I say something else is going to get me in trouble.
I am trying to. You just didn't give me a lot of forewarning of what time it was, and I don't have a clock.
Aha.
The clock's not on my screen.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Can't see any of the clocks. Got too many electronic devices.
Well, it's now 12:35.
And who's shocked?
Do you know where your DFS lineup is?
And now that we have 5,000 things it takes to run the show, my computer does not run exactly quickly by hour 2. Oh, I can say it out loud though. I mean, I think if you've watched the rest of this, you probably know where I'm headed with this. Gardner Minshew's the quarterback. Joe Mixon, Alexander Madison, and Jamal Williams are my running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Vikings defense against Detroit. And yes, I know I'm stacking a defense. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I lied. Scratch what I just said about the Vikings. Because there's one I actually like better. Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk, Josh Reynolds are my receivers. George Kittle is my tight end. And my defense is the Cincinnati Bengals. That leaves $500 on the table, which I'm a big fucking fan of.
Okay.
I'm considering San Francisco, but San Francisco only leaves $300 on the table, and that makes me like it less.
All right.
So there is a thought that I might switch that up. But as of right now, that's where it's at. You were told to stop many times in the comments.
It was.
So, yeah. I just, I have a couch if you need it. And I have a feeling that you shall.
James Robinson or Damian Harris asks Nate F. Is that a new name? Do we need to do it?
I think I've seen it before, but we're like, hey, for sports. What up, Nate? Let me look at my rankings for the week. I have Damian Harris is 28. James Robinson is 21. So I would technically play James Robinson. I also have Ramondre Stevenson. Like, I've got Ramondre and Damian Harris right beside each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I would play James Robinson, but it is markedly closer than those two numbers make it sound. There are several players in between them. Like Ramondre Stevenson's in between them. But it's really close. If you have like a bad sinking gut feeling about James Robinson, you can fire up Damian Harrison. It would not hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I have been told James Robinson is so hurt at this point that he can't walk around the facility. So there's a lot of, hey, you get blown out, and Urban Meyer just goes, just go sit down, please. It's hurting me to watch you.
All right, Armchair, do you want to give us your give us your spicy DFS lineup again with where you went super cheap on wide receivers?
I can give you something here. Let's hold on. I've got to pull up my current. I've got 4 lineups today. So, and this is just based off of what we've done. Here, we'll go with Minshew. I am going to go Eli Mitchell, Mixon, Ayuk, Jefferson, Reynolds, Kittle, Williams, and the 49ers D if you want to get real spicy.
Damn.
And the one that you were talking about before, where I have a Burrow stack. I've got Burrow, Madison, Mixon, Higgins, Reynolds, Quez Watkins, Gesicki, Evans, and the Jets defense. Those are my 2 spicy lines, not to be played in double ups. They have a very scary floor, but a very high ceiling.
Quez Watkins is the more I've sat here and thought about it, the more I almost don't see a way where Quez Watkins isn't going to hit one.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to hit one on the Jets. It's just a question of who. And Devontae Smith's going to get Bryce Hall, who is the best corner that no one talks about in the NFL. And now that he's shadowing Devontae Smith, it makes me not like him. So somebody's going to do it. I don't particularly love Rager. So who's left? It's either Dallas Goedert or Quez Watkins, and I like Quez Watkins a lot. Somebody asked for mine one more time. My computer is not cooperating with me putting it on the screen, so I will have to say it and just say it. Oh. And it'd be really cool if it would let me just...
Ronnie George says he's in Atlanta for the Bucs game today. Lots of sad individuals walking around. No kidding.
Are you hearing a lot of this?
No.
Bet you are.
No.
They're playing it in their car. between the Falcons and you know, it's sad Christmas in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my computer's finally working to the point of I think I can put this on screen. That didn't mean stop talking.
It's thrilling. It's absolutely thrilling.
Because I'm actually doing something. If you could.
I thought you were going to say the lineup. You had it.
Yeah, because I'm trying to put it on the screen.
Oh, you're trying to put it on the screen. I didn't gather that.
3 times I said that.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Yeah. Anyhow. Today's going to be fun. I think today's going to be a fun day. I'm looking forward to trying to shed off all of the pain and hatred that I have in my heart for Nick Saban. Hopefully, Jeremy is never going to let me forget this.
Oh, God, no.
Which pains me to no end.
Oh, yeah, no. This is part of your life now. Oh, I'll do it at least every day for a week.
Yay.
Then, it'll lose its luster for me. And then if they beat you in the playoff, it's a no good, very bad thing.
What, because you're just going to keep it going for a year?
Oh, yeah, probably. I'm that petty.
Oh, I'm sure you are. And you will you are all about just hammering in on something that I'm not even, I'm upset about it, but I knew this was coming.
I love how every Georgia fan says that.
Because we did! Because we knew it was coming! If it didn't happen, that was going to be the surprise. It was no surprise that happened.
Talked a lot of shit for people that knew something was coming.
I talked zero shit.
I went back and listened to it.
Uh-huh.
When I said Alabama outright, do you remember what your line to me was?
Not going to happen?
No chance.
I didn't say that.
Verbatim you did. Ask my wife. She's in the comments. I played it before the game was over. Just solely because I couldn't remember what you said.
Yeah.
So I pulled it up and went, oh, that aged poorly.
Yeah.
I might be planning on doing a remix of that for the ESPN show tomorrow. Throw a little dubstep behind it. Just
That's
not
fine.
A chance.
That's fine. Oh, there it is. He finally figured it out. Good job.
Not a chance. Yeah, there's my lineup. Yeah. Sorry it took so long. The computer's running like 14 fucking things at one time. So it doesn't necessarily love its life by the end of these shows.
And there it is. There's Jeremy's lineup. You got $100 remaining.
Minshew, Joe Mixon, Alexander Madison, Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk. If you want to audible Ayuk, I could understand it of not wanting to have him and Kittle. If you were going to do that, I would keep everything else in place. I would switch out the defense and probably go. The other receiver I would play would probably be. God, I might get to T. Higgins. That might be the path to righteousness again. It's got to be somebody below 6,900. You're not going to have a defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I lied. Yeah, just don't fade off Brandon Ayuk. If you're going to do that, just change it up somewhere else. Play Jimmy Garoppolo instead of Gardner Minshew.
Mm-hmm. All right, there you go. You got your DFS lineups for the week, and we got to get out of here because I still got some shifting to do on my lineups just to make sure I don't play anybody who's out. So we will be back with you tomorrow.
Thank you, Armchair, for all of your fantasy insight and joining us as always.
Indeed.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And I'm gonna go scrub the tape. So apparently, so my wife can't go back and hear all the bad things I said about her.
I highly recommend that.
We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. recapping every game from the Sunday slate here on week 13 of the NFL season. Of course, we'll have all of the college football to talk about tomorrow afternoon on the ESPN Asheville show. Hit that subscribe button, share it out with your friends as well, and we will see you next time.